Welcome back to Citizens Forum. This is July 10th, and I'd just like to thank our volunteer staff and the Shaw staff that make this all possible. Our guest in this segment is Edward Bourke. Edward and I live in the same neighborhood, and we often meet and talk. So I thought, and he thought he'd like to come on. So here we are. And Edward, I know you want to talk a little bit about where you're from and growing up.
My name is Edward Bourke. I'm 49 years old. I'm from Northwest Territories, Alberta, Northwest Territories, NWT. And I grew up with my mom and dad had 16 kids. And today I got 8 brothers and 5 sisters. And I grew up with an alcohol family. My mom and dad were alcoholics, and we grew up we were poor. I know there's a lot of things in my life that happened, and when I was growing up, I seen everything, all the alcohol. It was strictly alcohol. There was no drugs when I was growing up, but lots and lots of alcohol. And then I started drinking when I was 15 growing up. I have a grade 8 education, a little bit of going on 9, but I didn't finish because of missing school, because my parents were always drinking all the time. And so the social workers and the other people in my community told my parents that you had to take your family out in the bush for 4 months, so they could quit drinking and all that. They gave my dad a trap line, building material for a house, and so all the kids and the family went out in the bush and stayed there for 4 months. And that's how I learned. My dad learned me how to trap and all that. When I was 11 years old, pretty well, I think it was 11, something like that, and I stayed out in the bush, and I learned how to trap and live off the land, hunting, and that's how we did. We went in the bush and lived off the land, and in the wintertime, summertime, and go back in town, and then go back out and go to school. After school, go out in the bush, and that's how I survived. But still, every time we get fur or whatever, we make money, we go back in town, and alcohol is there again, right?
So everything was kind of okay when you were out of the town.
Yeah, everything was okay. Yeah.
But when you come back in, it's...
Yeah, and then it was alcohol again.
Yeah.
As soon as there was money, alcohol,
It's really too bad.
But then I stayed out of the bush, and then I stayed in town, and I went to work. When I was about 16, I started working and learning skills, carpentry skills, and from there, I have 17 years experience carpentry work.
Really? I never knew that.
But I don't have a ticket or none.
Yeah.
I got lots of experience working carpentry and concrete work, and like building houses actually. But now I got a health problem with me. Now I got kidney dialysis, and I cannot work. And but through the hospital, they're helping me. They're giving medication, and I got to go for treatment every 3 times a week. And
yeah. So where were you working when you were a carpenter?
I was working up north and up in Yellowknife.
Always there?
Pretty well. I worked all over, in the territories.
Doing mostly what?
building bridges, like concrete bridges, steel bridges. A lot of concrete work forming and for bridges and houses. A lot of foundations.
So that sounds, I mean, I know it's really hard work, but sounds not too bad. You're probably making decent money.
Yeah, well, they start you off, living up north is expensive, right? And they just started me off at $13 an hour, and when I was like getting up there, the $13 an hour, that was a lot of money. But if I was an experienced carpenter, but if I had a ticket, I'd be getting more, but I wasn't. So every year they bring me up like 13, 14, 15, every year.
So you were working up north, and that was, I guess, 10 years ago?
I'd say 96, I think, or something like that.
Okay. How do we get from 96 to here we are in 2013?
Well,
in
actually,
Victoria.
I came up here and I can't remember when I came up here.
I can't remember when I came here either.
But I know I came up here, I lived in Nanaimo for a year and a half, and I went to work up there we built a 12-pump Esso station up there.
Sorry,
A 12-pump Esso station,
12?
gas station Esso pump.
Oh, okay.
And I was getting I had the experience, but they're only giving me $10 an hour on our table, so
Yeah.
I better not sit on TV.
Too late.
Too late.
Don't worry, they'll make you a senator.
But today I'm happy that I don't do drugs and I don't drink, I don't smoke no more. I quit smoking, and because with my health problems, I feel a lot better. But I'm still sick, and but if I just don't do it, and I'll probably live a longer life if I just stay away from it.
Yeah. So you said you were Métis Cree?
Yes, I'm Métis Cree.
Yeah.
My dad is French and Cree, and my mom is pure Cree. My dad is from Lac La Biche, Alberta, and my mom is from Fort Chipewyan, Alberta.
It must have been such a different life. Because it was the end of a way of life, I guess.
Yeah,
the start of a new and more crazy way of life for Native people who were here for such a long time. And I don't know, you mentioned your mom and dad with the alcohol problems. Myself, I never could drink. It just made me sick. So
Yeah.
I was lucky, I guess, in that way. But so that was. But I know a lot of Native people got into alcohol, and you too, as you were working, I guess. Yeah, it's what a mess. So it cost you because it led to your health problems.
I drank lots in my lifetime, and I got into trouble every time I drank. I was, 10 foot tall and bulletproof, right? And nobody could stop me, whatever I did.
Yeah.
So I got into a lot of trouble in my life, drinking, ended up in jail. When I was 15 years old.
When you were
15.
15.
Yeah, they threw me in jail for robbery with violence for 6 months, and from there, when I got out, and back to alcohol again, back in trouble again, and fighting and all this. And
yeah, it really is. Alcohol is not a great thing, is it? It causes a lot of problems for people, and yet the alternative, marijuana, is illegal. And marijuana, from what I've heard, just kind of makes you relaxed and feel good and feel a bit happy. I think if we could if we had to pick one or the other to make legal, I'd pick marijuana.
Me too. I pick marijuana.
Yeah. It's too bad.
They make alcohol. Alcohol is a drug, and it's more worse than any kind of else drug, like marijuana. Cocaine. I think cocaine is worse than alcohol. I mean, alcohol is worse than cocaine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree with you. Yeah, and I don't like seeing it advertised on TV, and it would be nice if people just drank less.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess when you started, that wasn't the first thing on your mind.
No, I just liked it when I drank it.
Yeah.
And when I got high, and I wanted more.
Yeah.
And eventually started getting blackouts. You don't know what to do the next morning, and people tell you all about what happened, and next thing you know, people start talking and all that.
Now, when I was growing up, I had friends who drank, but yeah, I guess if we could all do it all over again, if we're.
Yes.
But how about the next generation? Within the native world, is that problem being gotten rid of, or is it still there?
The alcohol problem and drug problem will still be there, but we got to educate our people. The younger generation. We got to educate them too. We got to make them learn what it's all about.
Is that happening?
In some places it is, but in some places not. And
I heard over the last 6 months or maybe a year, I heard just on television, you saw some of the native leaders who, a lot of them are pretty big guys and women. And I heard some of them saying there's a new movement and they're going to lose weight and get healthy. I've heard them saying this, and I thought that's great because it makes a big difference, especially to see your leaders, kind of, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything about who the leaders are within. I don't know anything about band councils, traditional. I don't know if.
Well, for me too, I don't know really anything about my spiritual background. I just know I'm made to create, and I love myself for who I am, and I know I did all the bad things in my life growing up, and I asked my Creator to help me to get through all this stuff that's happened in my life, and try to get healthy again. So I'm becoming a better person, which in my life I'm starting to focus on life and getting help for myself, and staying away from drugs and alcohol. And
well, how long have we known each other? For like a year and a half or something?
Something like that.
Something like that. I always thought you were a great person.
Oh, I am a good person, but there's a lot of people think they know who I am, but they really don't know who I am.
Yeah.
They judge me, they judge me for who I am, for not what I do, right?
Yeah.
So people don't know who I am, but me, I know who I am. Yeah. Like, I don't care if you don't like me or not, but I like me, I like myself,
We're almost out of time. Have you got anything else you'd just like to?
I'd just like to say thank you for bringing me on the air, and telling people that you got to focus on life, because life is short, right? You're not going to live forever.
Let's have
but
fun.
There's always, I know, we're always going to be around, no matter, you know, we die, we're going to come back to life again. It's my acknowledge of what I know.
Edward Bourke, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thanks a lot for watching this segment of Citizens Forum.